good kind of fishing down here. Oh, wait until you see this. Oh, here we go. I love trying and find new marks. This precipice is a little bit interesting, but it should be alright if we just skirt down around the side. I'm not the first here. These look like footprints, so well, not footprints, but a little platform. Ooh, bit of exposure there. Looks good kind of fishing down here, but I don't know, I thought it was more of a precipice to stand on. I think I might double back and try and get down to the other mark. Wanted to avoid the birds, not be amongst them. There's far less down here, just need to find a way down. This camera doesn't do this justice, but it looks like it'll probably traverse along here, just under this overhang, and traverse back over and head to those rocks about there, and then down onto this bit here. Well, the bunnies have been here. If the bunnies can do it, I can do it. Sure, there's old guys from the area or even young ones going, "Whoa, there's no wrong with going down there, man." Absolutely fine. Soft lad. Looks good though. Woo. Oh, I love this coastline. Hope the fishing's worthwhile. Well, I'm pretty much halfway down now. Zigzag my way down here. Oh. A big wave just crashed over the rock I was going to fish from. Oh, that seal's having a good feed as well. But yeah, love this type of thing. I'm not one for trolling forums and the internet to try and find new marks to fish. Just have a look on Google Maps and look in Navionics, it's free. And look for deep water, dark blue on satellite, and it's generally a good indication of deep water. And if you can get to a rocky outcrop, then all the better. If you can get access to deep water straight down, it's not always a guarantee. A lot of the times I spent days coming up and down these cliffs just looking for places to fish that look good from up here, and then when you cast a line in them, they're absolutely terrible. So you probably only see the good ones on my videos. It's lush. I mean, look, I'm just happy having a day out doing this. 20 more minutes, I'll be down there, and then we'll get amongst the Pollack. It's just about taking your time and picking a route that looks good and doable, and never be scared to head back up if you feel like you're getting out of your comfort zone, because as soon as you get out of your comfort zone, that's when accidents happen. Open over, I think. That looks like quite a good rock to stand on. Oh, I'm excited. I'm well out of the current here, unfortunately, but there's loads of structure. I'll give it a couple of hours, and if I don't get amongst them, then I'll just go to my usual mark. So let's get geared up. Got 8.5 foot or 8'5" medium light / Lamya feet with 2,500 size Daiwa BG mag sealed. On that I've got the excellent Tasline Elite braid from Australia, or New Zealand I guess, but I buy it from Australia. And unfortunately for me, I'm all out of my usual 20-pound fluorocarbon, so I'm using 10, which is a bit light. I need to I need to make myself some purchases, weights, hooks and leader. Leader's quite short, should be alright. I'll retie. And no doubt I'll be getting snagged. That's one of the things about coming to a new mark is while you're learning what the ground's like, you will get snagged. Well, that seal's back again. He's a bit of indigestion there, mate. I've been asked in a few videos what this box is, and it's a Spro XL Stocker, I believe. Waterproof. Pretty handy. Always use the Tupperware tub for things like this. Keep all my jigs in here. I've got some ball weights, then all my chabs and hooks, and even some jigs and things. Pretty much everything I need. Aye, really handy. So, because it's a new area, I'm going to start off with the Old Faithful. I'm sure I must have a packet of sliders here. Yeah, there we go. It's my one of my go-to baits. A couple of different colours. I use this one when it's overcast and dark, or earlier in the season, and then which thing's called grass minnow colour, and then this colour once the sand eels start appearing and later on in the summer. As you can see why. Rig them weedless on a 1/0 hook's the best method, with either a cone weight with Texas style or with a Chabaruska or Spro bottom weight. I think I'm going to start off with the green one because it's overcast. So we've got a Van Fook 1/0 weedless, can't remember the exact model number, B45 I think, something along those lines. But perfect for these 3.5 inch baits. Super sharp and never rust. Have bent one out, but obviously prefer to bend them out than snap them, because you can just bend them back in. But if you lose a fish, then that's probably my own fault for having my drag too tight. And then these baits have got a little ridge across so you can easily find the centre. I just tend to nip that under like that. There we go. Big agricultural, I think that's a pike in the lure clip, but never mind, it'll do the job. Nip that in. This will cast for quite some distance, and hopefully you should be able to cover some water. Let's go. Well, I hope I don't end up in a tug of war with that seal first cast. Just going to stand up here. That seal's been constantly feeding on the other side there, but I'm going to cast over to that rock over there. It looks like that's where the channel might be, because there's less swell. The lower the swell is, then generally the deeper the water. I've just hit bottom there, and I was just bringing my lure across slowly across the bottom. I wish I'd brought my polarized sunglasses, but it's not very deep. I had maybe a 10-second drop, which with a 14-gram chab's not very deep at all. I expect about a 30 in my usual marks. 30-second count before it hits the bottom. The other thing I found is probably about 20 feet out from us, probably can't see as like me as well. There seems to be a bit of structure there. So I've just pulled up and over it through the kelp, so that's going to pose a bit of an issue if I hook into a fish. But I'm going to keep casting and get an idea of the underwater structure. Whoa! Oh, it came off. Damn! I had a fish on there. I thought I was pulling up through some kelp, so when my rod tip went tight, I paused to see if it was kelp and if I could just lift out, and then there was a couple of head shakes, couple of pull down, and by the time I realised what was going on, I'd actually forgotten to strike. So I don't think, because I had the hook tip nicked in the back of the lure, then it didn't hook because I didn't strike. But that's the thing, you got to kind of balance out striking when you think you're in a snag, which you don't want to do because you'll never get out, or knowing when you've got a fish on. And because it was such a subtle take, I just didn't think I would get one on my second cast, in all honesty. But I think I'll fish a little bit more aggressively. That fish was right close in, pretty much where the seal's going now, unfortunately. Let's see if I can scare him away. Had a good hit on the drop there. Classic Pollack hit that. Yeah, I think there's a big piece of structure in front of me that I'm fishing over the top of, and the fish are hiding. They're not hiding, they're just chilling. And the opposite side of it, that's twice now I've cast over there in 3 casts, and I've had 2 hits, so it's a good sign. I'm a bit surprised about the fish being there, because it's not deep at all, but hey ho, I'm not going to complain. Don't think I've said it this year, but actually smells fishy in the air. Always a good sign. It smells like coolies. Set the hook that time. Yes. Chased us over the top of the kelp. Here we go. First fish of the day. So my GoPro died, obviously, when I started talking to the camera. I hope it got that little fish on. Yeah, got my first fish on the show. What a fat coolie. He hammered it right on the shore. Took us for a bit of a run around. Started going from right to left. Oh, and the hook just fell out as well. Check that out. That's a fatty, that is. Oh, look at they don't get very big around here, but look at the girth on that. Really aggressive take. Let's get him back. That was a lush little scrap. Took it right on the end of my retrieve. There's a big shelf right down in front of us, and I think they're just hanging around in there in the swell. But I started bringing the lure up almost vertically, and it just a boom. Woo. Fish on the drop. Oh, it's a good one. Gotta get it up over that structure that's in front of us. Oh, pulling the hell out of this. My drag's locked. Oh, look at it. Yes, got it up over. Oh, wait until you see this. Woohoo! Oh, that was a scrap. It's almost a good job it wasn't a Pollack, but check out that. Hook right in the top there. Top of the lip. He's got some sharp teeth on that. Whew. I'm almost sweating after that. Look at that. Look at the belly. Oh, this one lives in the kelp. You can tell by the colours, but oh, what a stonker. If you can see the teeth. Oh, he is a fatty. He's been eating well. Oh, let's get it back. I know I said I was after Pollack, but I'll take a fish that looks like that any day. Must be, don't know, maybe 4.5 pounds. It's long. It must be 65 centimeters or so. Wow. Well, I said this place had potential. Wasn't expecting that. I was after Pollack, like I said, but I'm not going to turn my nose up at a fish like that. I just cast over to that rock. I was letting it sink, and just as I started my retrieve, there it was. Didn't even feel it hit the line or hit the lure or anything. But we'll have to work really hard to get it up over the structure there. Woo! I need to sit down. Ho, ho, ho. I think it's another continent. Oh, it could be a Pollack. He's taking some drag. Yeah, it's a Pollack. Oh, it's a nice one. Woo! Oh, he absolutely engulfed it. Whoa! Check him out. Said about 3 pounds I wanted. This is more like 6. He is a sturdy fish. Look at the thickness of the back. Right, let's get him back. Well, that fish was a beast. Absolutely ripped my leader to shreds. So after releasing it, I've just tied on a new much longer leader. still only £15 I think, or 10, can't remember, but much longer, just so I've got more chance. Because I don't know if you can see, but there's the first bit of structure I was talking about, just under the water there, and I actually see another piece there. That's just bare rock on the top, so it's annihilating me leader and braid. So I was fishing there, so I'm just going to move to there, and then I can fish straight through the middle of these two bits of structure. And that Pollack was caught just out there where the white white foam is. Also, this place is becoming a low water heaven. Got this bit here to fish from, into there, into that structure, and the tide's honking through there. And then also over here, it should be able to, oh, I've just spotted that bit of structure there, but it should be able to cast out in through this gully. Yes, what a day! I love it when a new mark pays off. And what I do when I'm searching a new mark, trying to learn what the seabed's like, if I can't see the structure like I couldn't this morning, is I'll fan casts around and lift and draw. Once my lure hits the bottom, then I'll do a couple of lifts and maybe 3 or 4 winds, and then just let it sink. And what that's doing is my lure's doing that, and it's only ever really rising about 6 feet off the deck, and that means I can get a really good indication of what the structure's like. You do lose a bit of tackle doing it, but it's worthwhile finding out what the seabed's like, basically where the structure is and where the fish might be hiding. Then once I've done that and I've kind of got a mental note of or vision of how the seabed is, then I can target specific areas and bits of structure, and I can just kind of drag my lure over the top of them and be a bit more sort of precise with my fishing after, but only after I've figured out what the seabed's like. I'll cast out where I got that Pollack before. Hopefully there's big dad, big brothers sitting there, or big sister. Saying that this was becoming a low tide joy. Unfortunately, because the tide's coming through like this is actually a big back eddy, and what's just started happening is I've got a load of crud forming, and it's just hanging around in here because the tide's going like that and causing an eddy in here. So I'm picking up all this rubbish. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to head over to that little rock outcrop there and see if the tide's running through there. The water looks cleaner, see if we've got any ground to fish at there. And again, that's the joy of scouting out a new mark, is, you know, I've been lucky enough to catch 2 decent fish and 1 small one at this point. So, you know, a few hours in, let's move and see if we can't increase the day's gains. Increase the day's gains? You know what I mean. Check it out. Structure around here. No wonder that cod was the colour that it was. Just littered with kelp. Got no chance of fishing a metal round here unless you got something like 40-pound braid on. Something headed on the way down there. and it is deep. First cast in there, and it's very energetic Pollack. Well, there we go. Bit of a bruiser, maybe about 2.5, 3 pounds. Let's get it back. Well, what a day. That seagull's taking an exception to me, I think. What a day. Found a new mark. Definitely be coming back here again. First impressions are, apart from the fish, the ground is awesome. I would have much preferred to have been less swell, and then I can get in and out all the nooks and crannies and really work all of the structure with a weedless shad, or something weedless anyway. Definitely not a place to come and chuck metals, but worked well over high tide anyway, as well. Fishing over the top of this structure here and over the top of there, so you can see what you're kind of dealing with on this ground. That codling was, I'm going to call it a cod actually. I think it was probably about 5 pounds, so I'll take a cod. It was just lush. I mean, it was almost luminous, it was so red. And the Pollack, well, that was target species for the day, and my first decent one of the year, which is probably my worst year ever for Pollack fishing. But really enjoyed it. Got to try and pick my way back up this cliff now, and I think by the time this comes out, because I'm only 3 away, I've probably hit 10,000 subs. Flabbergasted. I know it's not much in the grand scheme of things, but for my little channel, it's I'm pretty happy with that. I just want to say thank you very much to all of you, each and every one of you, all 10,000 and something. You just made my day basically. Thank you very much, and please, if you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and even if you don't want to subscribe, just watch my next video. I'll be really happy about that. And until the next one, tight lines.